Foundation inspection. We're at the right rear elevation, and we have some nails showing out in the foundation here. They've got to be cut off and covered with a waterproof mortar, and it's called parging. It seals them, stops them rusting. We're now at the right elevation, front yard. Come through the gate and we have serious erosion here. You can see how this has all been undermined. Come back this side. There's no undermining here, and what is actually happening is the runoff water from the roof here, this area here, falls into this area and washes all of the grade away from the foundation. This will lead to foundation problems in the future if it's not fixed pretty well immediately. So that's at the right side elevation, serious erosion. The erosion is continuing down the whole side of this elevation, and again it is frankly due to missing gutters. Drainage is mightily important when it comes to protecting your foundation. So we're at the right elevation now, at the front, and there is a ant's nest here that needs to be treated. We're at the front elevation now. There's no erosion here. No erosion. We're moving to the left-hand elevation. We have a corner pop here. Very common for that to break away. Normal within about 12 inches of the edge of the foundation. The corner will pop. A little bit of erosion here. You can see that the foundation, which was once beneath the form boards, is showing. We have a broken sprinkler head here, so I know the sprinklers are going to fail the inspection. Here we have a crack in the foundation. It's located at the left elevation, just about 20 feet from the front. There's a crack just below the clear out there. It's not uncommon to have cracks. We're still at the left hand elevation of the property. We're at the left hand rear elevation. We've got erosion here. See the cause of the erosion. It's where the diverter running along here is here to protect the AC equipment. The diverter is actually directing water into this area, and you can see the result of it is undermining of the foundation. There's another crack in the foundation here. Cracks in foundations are common. They occur during the curing process as the concrete pour hardens. Then the stresses appear in the concrete and they're relieved through cracks. There's a post-tension cable end showing here. That's popping and needs to be covered with a parge to protect it. Otherwise it's going to come out and it will damage the anchor through rusting. Now moving to the rear elevation of the property. Now at the rear elevation we can't actually see the foundation at the porch because it's actually hidden by the porch patio. This is grade inspection. What we're looking for is the grade slopes away. We want good drainage to the property. We're now at the left-hand elevation, and you can see that the grade slopes nicely away. This is the front elevation with a good slope of grade here. I'm going to move to the rear via the right elevation. And we have good drainage here. This is the roof inspection. I'm standing at the left rear elevation, looking up at the roof, and I'm going to be inspecting the roof from the ground because the roof is too steep for me to walk on. First thing I'm observing is the flue right at the top of the roof there. That flue is actually too short, and there is a good chance that the flue gases can get back into the attic under certain weather conditions. This flue needs to be extended up. I recommend at least a foot. That'll take it above the ridge at the top of the roof and expose it to the prevailing winds that are moving around. There'll be very little chance of the flue gases coming back down from that level and getting back into the attic. We're observing the flashings. You can see that there is a counter flashing that's running along the edge here. This counter flashing here. The two vents that we can see in the video here are too close together, and they're opposite each other on two planes. Now the problem with that is it's going to allow air to enter in one and go straight out the other and make them both ineffective. One of those should be closed up and moved to another position to ensure that you're getting air into the attic. I'm now standing at the right rear elevation, and we're looking up and we've got another roof vent. You can see there's another flue very close to it. Also, that air vent is matched by another air vent on the other plane of the roof. So mainly air is going to go in one of the inlets and out of the other, or vice versa. Whatever happens, it's going to be ineffective. Those vents should be on one side of the roof and not on both sides of the roof to work effectively. I'm standing at the right mid elevation of the property. What I'm looking at is a flashing, and you may not see it so well on the video or even the photograph, but there's quite a large hole there between the counter flashing and the step flashing. Now, under certain rain conditions, that's going to allow water behind those flashings and therefore into the building, causing a leak. I'm standing by the meter, and you can see that we've got the supply comes up here. Okay, well, if I plumb that, you could see that there's a large gap opening out. So the actual supply is staying put down here, but the building is moving in this direction. I'm in the garage. There's further evidence of subsidence. You can see here how this cabinetry has dropped all the way around the edge here. There's a crack appearing in the corner here. And the only reason for that is that the walls and the foundation are moving, and it's following one or the other. There's a kickboard on the bottom here, and often kickboards spring off, fall off, as cabinets move. So the kickboard is another clue to this foundation moving. And the sink here, you can see that it's recently been painted around this area. There's been an attempt to cover up the fact that it's actually coming away from the wall. This one's got its kickboard in front. I'm in the attic, and we can see we've got a vent here. We've got another one across here and another one there. That's not going to allow proper ventilation, as it's already reported in the report. Really, where these should be located is that one could stay there. That one and that one, those two, should be moved down to this side elevation here. There's plenty of room to do it, and it will actually improve the ventilation of the property. I know why they've put it up here. It's to hide it from the street so it can't be seen. While cosmetic issues are important, over and above cosmetic issues should be ventilation. There's a lot of missing insulation in this attic. For example, here, my feet, the insulation is missing. Blown insulation is missing from up here. Blown insulation is missing around here. Completely missing from here. I don't know what's going on here, but it's been removed. And in this area here, we've got almost no insulation. This is going to give poor results for your cooling in the summer. You're going to lose massive amounts of heat. These service boards, where here's the attic access, these service boards are dangerous. They actually bend under my weight. I could easily slide off and go through the ceiling, and that could hurt me a lot. That, of course, would be a risk to you as a homeowner if somebody comes up to service these water heaters, for example, and falls through that ceiling because you've got poor service boards. Then, in all honesty, they can actually expect you to pay for their hospitalisation, because you shouldn't have boards like that in the attic. I'm standing on the attic stairs, and there's signs of considerable water penetration to this attic. The attic stair hinge is rusting, and there are water stains running down the actual door itself. So I would say there's evidence of considerable water penetration into this attic. This is the wall inspection. Now, we're standing at the left hand elevation of the property, and you can see right up here how there is a line. It's a horizontal line moving away from the window frame, okay, to the rear elevation. There's another one moving away to the front elevation. This is caused by substantial subsidence, and it's of such a level I recommend that you engage a structural engineer, not a foundation company, because they can tell you all sorts of things. A structural engineer needs to look at this property because of this condition here and here. I think it's to do with the erosion here, but only a structural engineer will be able to tell you that. That's their job. My job is to tell you there's a problem. So please don't ignore me. Please pay attention to what I'm saying and get a structural engineer in to look at this. You can see above the window how the window lintel is moved away from the actual property, from the roof line, and you can see here just the extent of the sinking of the actual building away from the roof. The roof is holding everything up in place while the foundation sinks below it. Now there's evidence of a prior repair in this area. If you look here, we see brick here, and this looks like new mortar. I might be wrong, but I think there's evidence that may have been a prior repair. That this subsidence that we're seeing and this breaking of the walls, cracking of the bricks, cracks in the walls and the mortar may have been here for a long time. We're now at the front corner elevation. Up there, by that architectural detail there, there's a crack running through the mortar. We're moving to the front elevation now. And there's another crack coming down here. So there is movement there at that corner. And there's a crack running from the corner of this window down to the foundation. So I would say we have foundation subsidence movement at the left elevation. We're at the portico now. Yes, and there's movement in the portico. You can see here we have a crack running down, and there's one in the corner. And we've got another one appearing here. Now if we come out and we look along this edge here, you can see there's a crack. Okay, now I'm standing at the front right elevation, and we have actual structural movement. It's quite considerable. The wall is actually coming away. It's coming out. See how it's coming to start to overhang the foundation? I don't know whether that was originally there or the house itself is moving substantially. But here we've got large cracks here. There's substantial movement now on the right elevation. We're now walking down the right elevation. We're still looking at windows. Sorry, we're looking at walls, not windows. Getting confused here. Now there's an odd thing going on here. There's a telltale sign here. We have here an expansion gap, and the expansion gaps are cut in the brickwork. They're actually cut using a grinder, and they're normally the same width at the top as they are at the bottom. Well, you can see up here that this expansion gap is very, very narrow. It's almost as if the building is sinking in the middle here, closing up the gap at the top and opening up at the front, and it looks as if it's been recorked, which rather indicates there is movement. Yeah, we have a settlement crack just starting running down here. Now these walls here, these columns, should have weep holes in them, and they haven't got them, and they need to be cut. And we've got movement here in the form board. This support beam and this trim board here is moving away. That's how the building is settling and moving. We've got considerable movement here on this column, and you can see we're beginning to get distortion in the roof itself, but here we've got a large hole has opened up, and we've got the same issues around here. We're down the far end of the porch now, and again we're showing signs of foundation movement affecting the building. We've got steel lintels here, and these steel lintels should have weep holes over them, and they don't. We're now at the garage, and you can see in the garage very clearly how the roof is staying in place but the building's moving. This gap here was never here originally. You can see where the trim boards are coming away and the siding is coming away. That indicates a lot of movement. Now, I mentioned earlier that I was concerned about the flashing up here, and now I know why I was concerned. What is actually happening is that the roof is moving away from the actual wall here, so it's dropping down. That's why you can see that silver unpainted edge of the counter flashing, sorry, the step flashing, which you shouldn't be able to see. As the building distorts, so those things appear. And we've got movement here. You can see right down there. I'm on the second floor, and there's a crack running down the sheetrock here. And it's cracking around the window. More confirmation of foundation movement. One furnace running. turned this furnace on, but it didn't come on. Let's go and see if we can get it to come on. Now these are actual fitted units, I can't take them apart. So I can only look on the exterior. This unit over here is running perfectly. Getting lots of heat out. Let's see if we can get the other one to turn on. This is the furnace for the upper floor. I've turned it on, it's now running. And it's just fired up. Insulation is correct, it's suspended from the rafters. The flues are all tied. This is the AC compressor. We've got a low temperature of, let's see, of 45, and we cannot run these when the temperature drops below 60. It leads to damage. Okay, 44 on both of them, so we can't test the units. The units themselves, little or no damage, but this unit is actually starting to slip. You can see it's at an angle, and that needs to be rectified. We have insulation in place. Our isolator. Yep. Another isolator. Yep, that's great. The water pressure check, we've got a pressure here of 60 pounds, which is great. We're looking for between 40 and 80. In Frisco, there should be a water supply isolation valve in the front yard next to the house, which is exclusively for your property. There doesn't appear to be one. There's a valve here for the irrigation system, and this is the city water meter, where you can, if you push, turn it off, but it's locked. Most times you can't get into it. It could be that it's beneath the grade, but you should ask whether or not it can be identified where it is. It needs to be found for you, because you should be using it to isolate the water supply to your house should you have a problem. The master closet, what we're looking for is functional flow. We're going to turn the water on for the master tub. There it goes. It'll cut nicely. Now we're going to turn the shower on. Now in theory you should be able to take a shower. I think you could. So that's okay. Good functional flow. The faucet valve on the master bath here is broken. See, it rotates all the way around. It should have a stop on it, and it's not, so that's broken. It's not coming off. Not supply hot water, which it does. We have hot water at the shower. Hot water at that vanity, hot water at that vanity, and in the back here we've got a GFCI for the tub. Now we're going to fill the tub and see if the jets work. This is the access cover for the hydrotherapy tub, and it's broken, it won't stay in place. We're in the bathroom, second floor, rear elevation, and again the faucet's broken. This faucet is missing a handle. You see it's supposed to be hot. We'll see if it comes through hot. This is a shower unit, and there's no hot water at the shower unit. So we're on the second elevation, the shower and bath here, there's no hot water. On the second floor we've got two outlets here. The one on the top has a obstruction in it and it's not operating properly. Holes in the back of the panel here and here, they should be blanked off and they're not. This is the main panel. We have a bonded ground and neutral, which is correct. Plenty of room for expansion.